Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, dear students, secondary one students. Today we are going to work with poetry. We are going to take Sonnet 18, a poem named Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Okay. William Shakespeare is known to us all. He is the greatest playwright in the English drama. Okay. Our poem today is called, as I said, Sonnet 18. The sonnet is Italian sonnet. Before we go to this, we go to know, okay, things about the sonnet itself first. We want to introduce this first. What is a sonnet? What is a sonnet? And what is the difference between the Italian sonnet and Shakespeare's sonnet? All right. Generally, the sonnet is a poem of 18 lines. Before we go to this, we have to know this first. The sonnet, okay, is compiled of 18 lines dealing with one idea or emotion. Okay, that idea or emotion is usually a personal one. So the poet in the Italian sonnet talks about his or her, mainly his personal experience, okay, emotional one, or just an idea that occurred to the poet. Okay. The sonnet originated in Italy and in its first form was divided into two parts. The Italian sonnet has two parts. The first line or the first part, okay, consists of 8 lines, which was called octet. Okay, and the other part, which consists of six lines, called sestet. So the octet 8 lines and the sestet 6 lines. Shakespeare, okay, changed the form of the sonnet. Okay, he divided it into 14 lines. All right, 14 lines. He divided it into 3 quatrains and a heroic couplet. Usually the couplet has 2 lines only. So if you go deeper, if you remember that we have the stanza, 4 lines, the couplet 2 lines only, the sestet 6 lines, and the octet 8 lines. This is the division of the poems. Usually it is like that, nothing more. 2 couplet, 4 stanza, 6 sestet, 8 the octet. All right. The characteristic of the Italian sonnet, as we said, 8 lines the octet, 6 lines the sestet. But as we said here, Shakespeare changed this. He took the 14 lines, okay. He divided them as he wishes. As we said here, he make them as if it is a stanza, but he did not commit it to this. All right. Now let's get back to the poem. As I said here, uh, the Italian sonnet, and let's see how Shakespeare changed this and the uh, content of this or the lines in this poem. Here, we start this. As I said here, these are 4 lines. The 4 lines here. This is the quatrain and another quatrain, and another quatrain, and then these are the last 2 lines, the couplet. Let's start with this first, with the first one, the first 4 lines. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leave hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot in the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declined by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. When the eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Of course, I know that it is written in Old English. Most of the words here are new for you. As I said, it is Old English, not modern English that we talk today. So I brought the same lines in modern English for you to make things easier, but I'm going to recite the poem down, as I said here, in modern English. Here, shall I compare you to a summer's day? This is in modern English. You are lovelier and more mild. In May, rough winds shake the delicate flower buds, and the duration of the summer is always too short. Sometimes the sun, the eye of heaven, is too hot, and her golden, this is, he talks here to his beloved, of course. Her golden face is often dim, and beauty falls away. This is the nature of things. Beauty falls away from beautiful people. Stripped or taken away, he means stripped by chance, by accident, or nature's changing course. But your eternal summer will not fade, nor will you lose possession of the beauty you own, nor will death be able to boast that you wander in its shade, in his shade. The death, is talking about death. When you live in eternal lines set apart from time, as long as men breathe or have eyes to see, as long as this sonnet lives, it will give life to you. This is the poem in modern English. I think now it's easier to understand to you, hopefully. All right? Here are some words from the poem. Compare means liking. Say you are like. Compare. Say, shall I compare you? Thee. Shall I compare thee? You means thee. Thee means you in our modern English. Thou art means you are. Lovely, he means here beautiful. Temperate, you are more lovely. Thou art more lovely. And more temperate means more mild or more moderate. Rough winds, he means not soft or wild, violent winds. Shake, to move something violently. Buds are young flowers. Of course, you know this from science. Leaves, the duration of summer is short. Okay, all too short, he means here a very short. Eye of heaven, eye of heaven means the sun. Complexion, the color of the face, the color of the face. If you say that he has dark complexion, means he is not, he is, for example, يعني واخد ملامح غامقة ملامح الوش. Thou growest means you continue to live. Thou growest means you continue to live. Dimmed means made dimmed, made dull. Fair, this is noun, beautiful thing. Fair to fair, okay. Decline here means decay or go away. Untrimmed, having become ugly. Untrimmed, having become ugly. Eternal, lasting, forever. The word fade means grow dull and colorless. Simply die. Lose possession means no longer possessed, doesn't have or don't have it, plural. Brag, to boast. Boast here means speak proudly. يتفخر بشيء. To speak proudly about something. Thou wanderest. You wander. You walk aimlessly. Okay? You wander. You walk aimlessly. Okay? Shade means shadow. Lines, he means here lines of verse of the poetry Shakespeare wrote. All right? Here we are going to read the paraphrase, okay, for this poem. Shakespeare asks if he could compare his beloved to a summer's day. In this poem, Shakespeare wrote this poem to his beloved. He's describing her and comparing her beauty to the summer. Of course, the summer in England means green, nature, green, okay, green everywhere. People go out because winter is very tough in England, okay. So when summer comes, people enjoy their time You see green, as I said, everywhere. Enjoy the beauty of nature. So here Shakespeare, when he compares his beloved to a summer's day, means he's comparing her to the nicest or the best time in England. The people enjoy their life at that time. Okay, so Shakespeare here asks if he could compare his beloved to a summer's day, then he refuses doing so, refuses to compare her beauty to a summer's day. Why is that? Because, okay, she is more beautiful and more sweet tempered than a summer's day. All right? This is the first uh, part of the first four lines. In the next four lines, he mentions why he does not like the idea of such comparison. Okay? As the summer day is sometimes windy, sometimes windy, all right? And that it roughly shakes the tiny flowers. The wind in summer roughly shakes the tiny flowers. And another idea, the summer is of a short duration. The summer is of a short duration. It does not last for long. All right? The sun in summer is very hot and sometimes the sky is cloudy. Okay? So here, the summer is not always on the same way. It is not all the time good weather, sometimes hot, sometimes windy, but his beloved is always beautiful. All right? Then he continued the summer, the sun in the summer is very hot and sometimes the sky is cloudy, as I said. It is a well-known fact that every beautiful thing at a certain point will stop being beautiful, either by an accident, the word chance, or naturally by time and death, or naturally by time and death. All right? Then the poet says that his beloved's youth and beauty will be everlasting, as he is sure that his beloved will always be beautiful and never be affected by the old age. All right? Again, he continues that even death will fail to put her in its dark shadow. Okay? She will actually live in his poetry. Okay? She will actually live in his poetry, which will be always read as long as mankind exists. So this is the summary or the paraphrase for the poem. We read, of course, the first part, what is a sonnet? What is the difference between the Italian sonnet and this Shakespearean sonnet? We understood what is the difference between the octet and the sestet. All right? You have to know this well. And we knew also what characterizes Shakespeare's sonnet from the Italian one. Okay? Here we are going to go through another question. What will make the lady's beauty everlasting? What make what will make the lady's beauty everlasting? Her beauty will be everlasting. In the verse of the poet's sonnet, that will be repeated. Her beauty will be in his sonnet. This sonnet will be repeated among people forever. People will recite his poetry by time, okay? So his beloved will not be dead. She will live in his lines. This will be as long as men live and as long as they read his poetry. As long as they read his poetry. Okay, the third question here. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare says the poetry defies time. Defy here means to challenge. To challenge. All right, discuss this question. Shakespeare believes that poetry defeats time and death. Okay, he says that poetry prevents death and time from frightening the people who are mentioned in the poems, especially in his poem. Question number 4 here. Why does the poet use the repetition of certain words? Why does the poet or Shakespeare use the repetition of certain words? Here he uses this to create internal musical patterns in the sonnet. To create internal musical patterns in the sonnet. So, for example, the word more, fair, so long, and so on. Question number 5. Question number 5 here. Pick up the figures of speech in Sonnet 18. Okay. Shakespeare used only a few traditional metaphors in this sonnet. For example, describing the sun as the eye of heaven. Okay. He also used the eternal summer. The eternal summer. Internal summer. And there is also personification in gold complexion. Gold complexion, we have these two. And this is the last question here. Write short lines about Shakespeare. Shakespeare was born in 1564 and died in 1616. He wrote 37 plays and 134 sonnets. He's still popular because he is actually not of one age, means about time, for all time. Means his poetry, his plays dealt with things about human nature. Okay, his plays, as I said, dealt with these things. So it is not belong, does not, his plays do not belong to certain time. Okay, but its topics, or the topics of his plays dealt with things universal, not to a certain region. Okay, but for all time, as I said. By this, we come to the end of our session today. All right. If you wish to ask any questions, we have Hazim and Salma Rafai. If you wish, you can raise your hands and ask if you wish. Anyway, if you don't have question, we can end. We can end now. Thank you for your time, and I wish you have enjoyed our session today. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.